Hey, welcome back at ABC5. Looking out on the Manor Cam to start off this Monday morning. We got a little bit of a haze out there. If you saw some of that yesterday, it's not the fires going on within our area. It's the fires going on a little bit further north where we're seeing that smoke kind of fill in. The flat fire, over 20,000 acres burning just north of our area. 70 degrees, a mild start if you're just getting outdoors. 2 degrees shy of where we were sitting yesterday morning. And today, like yesterday, going to be another very hot day in the valleys. Expecting 102 degrees. We might edge a little bit hotter than that, or we might stay a little bit cooler than that, just depending on where and when we see the thunderstorms developing. But we do have that chance for some storms even here in the valley over the next couple of days. We saw a lot of that activity in northern California and our eastern counties yesterday. We saw even some storms across eastern Jackson and southern Jackson County yesterday as well. And of course, the valley is going to be the hottest part in our area. Upper 90s to triple digits. We've got some 80s for highs further east and 60s for highs along the coastline. Now, here is the good news. As we're getting into the mid and later half of this week, forecast starts to change. Our jet stream starts to change. The ridge builds out of our area and the next system starts to move in. And this is going to help to drop off our highs, getting a little bit closer to the seasonal average compared to the heat we've been dealing with over the last several days. Now, I mentioned a little bit of a haze out there. Looking further north, again, we have the flat fire and the immigrant fire. Flat fire is the much larger fire within Oregon right now. Immigrant fire still is producing some smoke, edging a little bit closer into our area. And we're looking at across the atmosphere here, seeing what the smoke is expected to do. And you see it kind of filling in a lot of our area. Now, this isn't that dense smoke lowering the air quality, but it is bringing a lot of the smoke in the atmosphere throughout the next couple of days. So that's going to be something to watch out for. Yesterday, we picked up some good rain, a daily rainfall record for Montague, getting over an inch and a third of rainfall, just a tenth to 2/10 further south for Mount Shasta and also Klamath Falls. Montague got under the thunderstorm activity, and it was a slow moving storm, a couple of storms, and what we're going to see is the same aspects here for today. Thunderstorms developing in the afternoon hours. You're seeing them kind of building up into the Cascades and across northern California, but we're still seeing that potential here in Jackson and Josephine County on the southern half of the county for the development of these thunderstorms. Of course, slow moving storms could have some heavier rainfall if you're right underneath those thunderstorms. But of course, the main threat is any new lightning as well as gusty winds, because that could start and spread fires very quickly. We are going to see things quieting down, but still might continue with some night activity out into our eastern counties with some showers. Might even have a few lightning strikes into the early morning hours. We do see activity ramping up yet again into Tuesday afternoon. And we'll see this continuing into Wednesday as well. And then the forecast begins to change. We start to dry out in the forecast with more sunshine. And again, some spots might get some heavier rain, while most locations, especially in the West Cascades, West Valleys, will stay on the drier side. But other locations might get up to a tenth to 2/10 of an inch as we're getting through the next couple of days. Now, we look at the Rogue Valley 7-day again. Just that chance for some storms through at least Wednesday. Then we start to clear out with more sunshine leading into the end of this week, and highs not as hot, returning to those lower 90s after triple digits over the last few days, and expected through at least Tuesday. We'll dip into Wednesday into the mid 90s. Klamath Basin staying in those 80s for highs. Morning lows will start to cool back down into some 40s by the end of this week, but still very active with the thunderstorms throughout Wednesday as well as into northern California before we clear out and get out of this monsoonal moisture and this ridge of high pressure to drop those highs back down into the end of this week. The coastline staying pretty quiet besides some fog and marine stratus. They're going to stay on the drier side. Highs in the mid and upper 60s.